Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is February the 19th, and there are tons of action in the NBA for today. The All-Star break is over. We're in the home stretch. I think teams got about 33, 34 games left before the playoffs start, or at least the play-in tournament start. So let's jump into it, man. No further ado. I did take the last couple of days before the All-Star break off. Just a lot of stuff going on. In the NBA from a tanking perspective, decided it was better just to sit on the sideline, kind of watch, wait for the dust to clear, smoke to settle. I really still don't know if it has or not. I know that they're coming up with, trying to figure out the tanking stuff. So a lot of the games, for the foreseeable future, not a lot, but some of the games where I just don't have a good feel, I'm going to just kind of skip those games and not waste your time. So we're going to get into it for today. Let's see. Where shall we start? Let's start with Jackson. Yeah, sports betting tool. So link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking Jackson out. 50% off if you use that link. So Jackson's an AI sports betting tool, of course. Went to Jackson, asked Jackson the similar prompt that was actually hidden right before the All-Star break. And that prompt is using situational advantages and disadvantages, trends, last 10 games, advanced stats from cleaning the glass. What are the two top NBA bets for today? Jackson likes the Houston Rockets minus the 4.5. It says that the Houston Rockets into this matchup is one of the most analytically sound teams in the NBA, currently ranking 6th in that rating. They're +5. This recommendation is primarily driven by catastrophic situational mismatch on the glass, Houston's elite defensive efficiency against the turnover-prone Charlotte backcourt. So the Rockets' identity is built on physical dominance. They currently rank number 1 in the NBA in total rebound percentage at 54.7. They're first in offensive rebound percentage at 38.6. This means Houston effectively gains nearly 4 extra possessions for every 10 missed shots compared to league average. Charlotte, while ranking 4th in offensive rebound, has struggled with consistency and defensive transition. Which is where Houston's combo threat, Thompson, 2.9 offensive rebounds per game, first at his position, thrives. So that is a little bit of the breakdown here. It does say that the Houston Rockets have been overachieving their underlying metrics, evident by their 30th ranked win differential. This suggests that while their recent record remains respectable, they are winning games they should lose based on point differential. Conversely, Houston ranks 6th. 6th rank expected wins aligns perfectly with their performance. So just a little bit of the write-up here. It's a little bit more here as well. The second bet is on the Boston Celtics minus the 5.5 against the Golden State Warriors. So it says the Boston Celtics traveled to San Francisco in a premier situational spot, while the Warriors have always command respect at home. The advanced data suggests a significant gap in execution and ball security that favors the visitors. Boston currently boasts the 3rd best net rating at +7.5 and the 2nd best offensive rating at 120.2. So the most glaring statistical discrepancy in this game is ball security. The Celtics are the gold standard for offensive discipline, ranking 1st in the NBA in turnover percentage at 12.1 per game and 2nd in turnover percentage at 12.4%. The Warriors, conversely, remain a high variance team that struggles with giveaways. They rank 26th in turnovers at 15.6 per game, and a game projected to have a moderate pace. Boston ranks 30th in pace. Those extra possessions for Boston are worth the weight in gold. So that's a little bit of the write-up here. These are the top 2 looks on the board for Jackson today. Houston minus the 4.5 and Charlotte, 2 road favorites, and Boston minus the 5.5 in Golden State. Let's jump into the matchups for today. So the first one I wanted to go through, probably the game of the day, in my opinion, the Pistons and the Knicks. This line I saw it at 3.5. It went up to 4. It's up to 4.5 on a couple books. Total was at 221.5, and it's gone up a little bit as well, up to 223 on most books as well. So we take a look at the injury report. The Knicks will be pretty healthy. They went into the break in a bounce back spot against who did they beat? Who did they beat right before? They beat the 76ers, beat the brakes off the 76ers, beat them by like 50 in that game after losing the night before to the Indiana Pacers. Nice little bounce back spot for the Knicks in that game. So the Knicks in this game, we look at the injury report. I know OG is listed as questionable. But I did see on the injury report that OG is probably going to play today. And then outside of him, just Miles McBride listed as out. On the Detroit side of things, Jalen Duren is still suspended. I think this is the last game of his 2-game suspension. Isaiah Stewart, of course, got big time for, I think he got 7 games, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. And that creates the discrepancy in this game. So if you've been following just like this, I think this is one of the best rivalries in the NBA. Detroit is the little brother to the Detroit Pistons, to the the New York Knicks. They're the team that has the best record in the Eastern Conference, 40-13 compared to 35-20 for the New York Knicks. Detroit has mollywopped this New York Knicks team twice already. Both times they've come in Detroit. If you've been just paying attention to that, you already know that. Detroit is playing really, really good basketball. 3 straight wins right before the break. They've covered all 3 of those games as well. 3 straight unders defensively. They've been really, really good. The Knicks have also went into the break really, really high. Outside of the game against the Pacers, where the Pacers just got hot from the 3-point line, the Knicks finished, they're 8-1 in their other 9 games before the break. Both of the New York Knicks losses to the Detroit Pistons have come by 30 points, and both games went under. We had a 232.5 total in the first game, and then a 220.5 total. And the Knicks really didn't play, their starters for the full game because they were just getting mollywopped in both of those games. You got to give it up to Sir Thompson. Did a really good job of slowing down Brunson in both games. I do think the Knicks won the second leg of a back-to-back in one of those in the most recent game. But Detroit, this has been their role. They get up for big opponents. They're 6-0 straight up and against the spread when they're road dogs this season. And you kind of got to ask yourself, why would Detroit not be the play here? I do think the Knicks are the better team, and I think that we see a really, really locked-in Knicks team. I think the absence of the 2 centers, not that Paul Reed, B-ball Paul can't play basketball because he absolutely can, but I do think the Knicks take this game very, very serious, being that they have lost both games by 30 points. They're 6-2 straight up, 5-3 against the number in home games with revenge this season. All the numbers to the side, though, I do think even with Detroit, being a team that hasn't, not covered the spread as a road dog, I think we get maximum effort here from the Knicks. I expect the Knicks to bring it. I do agree with the spread going up. Have not bet it yet, but Knicks is the way that I want to look in this game. I do want to take just actually my favorite player prop on the board for today. I want to take a second and just go over to Outlier really quickly. So if we transition, see if I can do it. Here we go. All right, so if we transition over to Outlier, this is a Sir Thompson, and this is under for points plus rebounds, which I really like in this matchup as well. We can see, I always like to look at the full season. A Sir Thompson on the full season is under this number. We can see at 39%. Well, actually, in 61% of his games. So it's a pretty big number for Sir Thompson to get to. 14.5 points plus rebounds. You can see that he does average right at 16. However, it's a really, really tough matchup for him. The Knicks, one of the better rebounding teams in the NBA. We can see that right here. 5th in rebounds allowed. They also don't give up a ton of points. 6th in defense as far as points allowed. But more so than that, Asher, we know, scores all of his points inside the paint. He's not somebody that's going to get to the free throw line and knock down a bunch of free throws. We can see he's only shooting 59% from the free throw line. He also is not going to knock down a bunch of threes. We can see that he's only attempting, less than half a 3 a game, shooting 25%. So because he scores a lot of his points in the paint, the Knicks with Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns down there, I don't expect to allow him to score a bunch of points in the paint. And then the rebound, the reason why I threw the rebounds in here as well is because he'll be guarding Jalen Brunson, which should take a lot of the rebounds away from a certain this game. Him being able to, having to stay with Brunson, I think is a prime time for him to go under in this spot. So I like their Sir Thompson under his points plus rebounds. Put both of those together. 14.5 is the number. I think that's a winner today. 14.5 under for Sir Thompson is what I like in this game. And I do think that the Knicks bring it today. I think they are the right side. Next game I want to talk about really quickly is this Raptors and Bulls game. So Toronto, they were laying 6, and then the report came out that Josh Giddey is expected to play. So the lines come back down to 5.5 on most books. Just real quick and put up the injury report. So Colin Murray Bulls is probable. Mamu is listed as questionable. Giddey is on track to play. And then Jalen Smith is listed as probable. So is Trey Jones. And it looks like Zach Collins remains out. So this was a pretty simple one for me. If I'm playing, I do think it's always been kind of scary to fade the Bulls as a home dog. We know this is typically their role, the role that they play best in. And real quick, let me just give you guys that number. I want to say it was something like 7-2. Let me just double check. So they are 8-5 against the number, but they started 8-2 against the number as home dogs. And we faded them against the Nuggets in this last game that they were a home dog. It took them to the fourth quarter, but they got absolutely mollywopped, lost the fourth quarter by 23. But they have done well in this role. The Toronto Raptors are on a little bit of a roll right now. And the Bulls, I think after the break, I think that they're just going to be a team that's just not going to play a lot of defense. When I was looking into this yesterday, actually 2 days ago, Chicago went into the break just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. So getting Josh Giddey back, even though he hasn't played probably in about a month, I do expect him to be a bit rusty here. Toronto have been playing some really good basketball. I think we took their team total over against Orlando in one of the last games before the break, and they easily cashed that number for us as well. And they do have, I think, some significant advantages in this game. Chicago, without having a true center, Jalen Smith out there playing center, I don't think he's going to get the job done. So if I'm playing this game, I don't really enjoy the idea of laying points on the road with Toronto, but I do think they're the right side. I think their team total at 119.5 makes the most sense as well. This is a team that scored 123 points in the first matchup when they played back on February the 5th, about 14 days ago. Well, actually 14 days ago exact. Scored 123 in that matchup. Chicago has given up 120 points or more in 6 straight games. 5 of their last 5 straight games have gone over for Chicago. And Toronto's cleared 120 in 3 of their last 4 games as well. So it kind of feels like the offense is playing well. Toronto over the last 2 weeks are number 1 in transition frequency, 4th in efficiency. So this is team that's getting out with quickly, getting out with shed, pushing the ball in transition. Chicago is bottom 5 in opponent transition frequency, 22nd in opponent transition efficiency as well. So it's not like they have a lot of, players that's going to be able to, stay in front of the ball and keep the Toronto Raptors out the paint. I expect Toronto to be able to live inside the paint. Should be a big game for RJ Barrett. Should be a big game for Brandon Ingram getting to the mid-range. And I do expect Toronto to run. So I like Toronto team total over 119.5 in this spot if I'm betting in this game. All right. Do me a favor, real quick. Hit the like button if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. Share the show. All that good stuff. It helps out the algorithm. And also, let me know what you're betting in the comment section as well. You agree with the plays that I've talked about so far? If not, let me know. If so, let's ride. All right, let's keep going. Next one up, Celtics and the Warriors. Celtics getting 5.5 points now. This line, of course, was 3.5 before Steph got ruled out. Looks like Porzingis is listed as questionable, a true questionable. He did go through practice yesterday. We'll see if he plays. I also see Will Richard listed as questionable. Of course, no Steph Curry either. And then the Boston Celtics will be healthy outside of Jason Tatum, who, of course, hasn't played this season. So we're looking at a Warriors team. Let me just get straight to the point with this one. Looking at a Warriors team that struggled. The Warriors have struggled without Steph. I don't think that that's anything that too outlandish to say. They just 1-3 against the spread and straight up as home dogs this season. The win actually came all the way back on October the 28th against the Clippers in a game that they did have Steph in. But the Warriors overall just 6-10 straight up without Steph, 5-11 against the spread without Steph, just 1-6 in games at home without Steph, and 0-3 both straight up and against the spread in their home games as dogs without Steph as well. They lost to the Spurs right before the break, and that was with the Spurs being on the second leg of a back-to-back. The Thunder beat them twice in Golden State as well without Steph Curry. And I kind of put the Celtics on the same type tier as at least playing just as good as basketball as the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. This is a team that's second in the Eastern Conference. I think they're second or third. I think Boston's second in the Eastern Conference right now. If they're not second, they're third, right up there with Detroit and with New York. And I was looking at some of the metrics. Boston is, right on par, if not better, in almost every statistical category than as they were last season. And this was when, of course, they had Porzingis and Al Horford, and Jason Tatum wasn't hurt. So the Celtics, I feel like this is a team that I've kind of overlooked this season. They've been really good covering spreads on the road as well. If we go over really quickly to, I want to show you guys one thing real quick. Let's get to one play I want to make in this game. I kind of feel like we take the Boston Celtics early. So this is Moneyballer. There's a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out as well. So we flip down here. We go to the 19th. We go to this Boston and Golden State game. And we look at some of the trends. Not even the trends, but we come down here and look at, I think the Boston Celtics first half is the best play here. So we look at Boston. We can see that they are a really good first half team, 33-20-1, whereas the Warriors are not, 22-31-1 against the number. They're home dog, just 1-3, so they typically don't cover in the first half as either. And I feel like the Celtics cover more in the first half, 11-6 against the spread in the first half, and 10-7 if they're a road favorite. So both of these are pretty profitable angles. The Warriors, on the other hand, absolutely not. Actually the opposite, right? So 1-3, both straight up in against the number. I kind of talked about that. We can see that the Celtics play really good defense early in games as well. Well, actually for the full game, the defense gets better. Offense actually falls off a cliff. So the Celtics in the first half, 10-7 to their team total over, and the Warriors offense struggles, 1-3 against the number as home dogs in the first half to their team total. So or 3-1 to the under. And I think, just integrating Porzingis, if he does come back in this game, that is a stretch big that's going to be able to help Boston in this situation. But yeah, I like what Jackson was saying about the turnovers as well. If we go over here, we can see that the turnover percentage, Boston right here, second best. The Warriors turn it over at the 4-5 rate without Steph out there. I do think that they'll turn it over a little bit more as well. So yeah, that's what I like in this game. I think Celtics first half minus the 2.5 is probably the best look on the board in this one. All right, one more game I want to get through real quick, and then I'll share with you guys some other things that I had in my notes. All right, cool. So that's that one. The next one is, or maybe I didn't. There's one more. And I want to share all the plays that I'm looking at. Some things that I haven't bet yet. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. So this Magic and Kings game is interesting to me. So this open, I originally saw this with the Magic laying 11.5 points. And the reason why the lines come back down, I think it went all the way back down to 8.5. Now it's coming back up to 9. There are still some 8.5s out there. But this one is interesting to me because the Kings have Keegan Murray. Looks like he is going to be able to play. DeAndre Hunter is listed as out. Malik Monk is off the injury report. And then Zach LaVine and Sabonis are both having season-ending surgeries and won't return this season. On the Orlando side of things, Franz is also listed as out indefinitely. He's not going to be back for a while. But they have Jalen Suggs and Anthony Black and Desmond Bane and Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr., of course. So I kind of look at this game. You got an Orlando team that is 7th in the Eastern Conference. Orlando had big expectations at the beginning of the season, bringing Desmond Bane into the line, to this rotation, and giving up KCP and all the picks, sending them to Memphis. So Orlando's 7th in the Eastern Conference right now. They're a game and a half behind the Philadelphia 76ers for the last top 6 playoff spot. You want to avoid the playoffs by all means necessary, of course, right? Much more difficult competition is coming up for Orlando. This is the first of a 4-game road trip out west. They got the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. I think those are 3 games that they could lose all 3, actually. Orlando is not playing really good basketball as of late. I do think that they're the right side in this game, man. The Sacramento Kings have just been god-awful. They're a team that just hasn't been great at all. You get Keegan Murray back for Sacramento. I think that's the reason why the line came down. But if you look at it, Keegan Murray probably going to be on a minutes restriction. Last time we saw him play was back on January the 4th. So it's been exactly a month and 15 days, exactly a month and a half since we keep seeing Keegan Murray play. I know Orlando is not trustworthy. They went into the break losing to the Milwaukee Bucks after beating the Milwaukee Bucks But I think the Orlando Magic land a big number like this. I think that they're the right side. Teams coming out off the break as road favorites, big road favorites, they typically win. They typically cover at a strong, at a strong rate. So I like the Orlando Magic in this spot. I think that they win this game by double digits. When I look at the Sacramento Kings over, the course of their last couple of games, they've been powerful. I think they haven't won a game since they beat the Washington Wizards, and I'm just not expecting a lot to change here for this Sacramento team. Sacramento just not a team I think we're going to see a lot of effort from. I thought that the Pelicans might have been laying too many points right before the All-Star break, and the Pelicans ran them off the floor. So I really quickly, the Sacramento teams, of course, I think they're the worst ATS team in the NBA. I think that they're also, I thought I had this pulled up already, but I guess I didn't. I think they're the worst ATS team in the NBA, and I think that they are just going to continue to take steps back. Last 2 weeks before the All-Star break, they were the worst defensive rated team in the NBA at 123.4 defensive rating, second worst in opponent effective field goal percentage. They're the fourth worst offensive rated team. They shoot the ball at the worst field goal percentage in the NBA as well. I think Orlando gets the job done today. Double-digit win for Orlando in Sacramento tonight. Orlando did sweep the Kings last season as well. I think Orlando starts the road trip off well. That's my thought process on this one. So real quick, as far as recap, I know I didn't go over Brooklyn, Cleveland, but I had some strong stuff on the over in that game. I did see that Michael Porter Jr. is going to be in, but I haven't played that yet. Just kind of want to wait on the injury report. Houston is a team that's so untrustworthy, really, really hard to back them, but they do have revenge against the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte will be without Diabate, of course. Not sure if Bridges is going to play this game. I probably should have looked into that, but I do think Houston, just going into the break, super sluggish. I think they're 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. I do kind of feel like they're the right side. The money has come in on them. I have not played that yet. Told you guys why I like the Knicks. Told you guys why I like Thompson. That's the one thing that I have bet the points and rebounds under. We talked about Toronto team total over at 119.5, something that Chicago is religiously giving up. Told you guys why I like Boston, and told you guys why I like Orlando as well. So I'm not sure what I'm going to bet on this line, but I will wait, as I always do, until closer to game time to confirm injury reports. But these are the ways that I'm looking to play today. Plays in red, of course, are not official plays, but the plays in green always are. All right, so that's it for the show, man. Resources are listed here. Check them out. Jackson, Outlier, Moneyballer, OddsJam. And the best play to play Sir Thompson under his points and rebounds is actually over on NoVig. And there's a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking out NoVig and you need that sports book as well. Not really a sports book, more like an exchange, but check out NoVig if you guys are interested as well. And that'll be the show for today, man. Best of luck on all your action. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Tons of NBA action for tomorrow as well. A couple of these teams on the first leg of back-to-backs. And I will see you guys then, man. Have a great Thursday. I'm out.